So, Sidcup. You might be wondering what we're doing here today. Well, a few years ago, a poll came out which said this was the most monarchist constituency in the entire country. And then a few weeks ago, we also released a report here at Republic detailing that the monarchy now costs us £500 million a year. So we thought we'd come to what's apparently a royalist stronghold and ask everyone what they thought about that new number. How much do you think the monarchy might cost the country per year?
I think it costs a lot.
It's a good question, but lots of money. I would say probably in the millions.
Well, I did see the Duchy of Cornwall the other day, and something that they get 10 million out of so much money, whatever, Duchy of Cornwall.
I don't know.
Like millions upon millions,
Definitely
like too much.
I'm not too sure on like actual prices, but it's probably expensive, like quite a lot.
Yeah.
And like could have been used on other things.
500,000.
Well, you got the 500 part, but it's 500 million. So.
I think like everything else, that could come down quite a lot.
Yeah.
But that's just my opinion. I've always thought that anyway.
Yeah.
$500 million is spent on people that are like, already like richer than everyone else. So it's like it's greedy. Like there's people out here struggling, and they're like the kings and that are taking $500 million. Like it's a bit much. It's too much.
The lifestyle they're having compared to what we are facing, and then they're not even paying attention, and they're not even contributing.
That does sound like a lot. I didn't actually realise it was that much, but I do like them, so yeah, I think they're important.
They live in literal palaces that we are paying for, whereas there's people that can't afford to even like rent a house, and the housing market's a disaster as it is. We are paying for them to live this luxurious lifestyle where they get all their food and stuff made for them, they get all their clothes handed to them, whereas we're out working horrifically long hours.
So what do you think, in your opinion, does the cost of it not matter as much to you? You're more in for sort of the traditions?
Well, if they're making money, then it's irrelevant to me. I mean, it's an institution that we've had for those years that you've mentioned, and it should continue.
It depends how much that's offset by the revenue that comes in from people visiting.
We obviously did some research and we found out that there's very negligible tourism revenue. Obviously people would come to Buckingham Palace and Windsor Castle whether they were there or not. In fact, Buckingham Palace is only open 3 months a year, so you can't enjoy it the entire time.
Years ago, like monarchy, yeah, because they actually did something like they rolled over everything, but now we have an actual government that, well, they don't do a very good job anyway, but a government that actually is elected to lead us, so I don't think it's necessarily something that we need. So I would personally get rid of the monarchy, to be honest.
Do you think that 500 million could be spent in better ways?
Of course I do, yes. I mean, to actually keep attacking the pensioners is way off.
Yeah.
Should be doing. I'm one.
It could be used on something that's more like needed in society, obviously.
Charities and shit.
Even charity, stuff like that, yeah.
I just think it's good to have like a figurehead for the country, like they represent the country, and it's good to have that sort of figurehead. And I think they sort of bring everyone together and they do a lot of good work, like not just in this country but around other countries as well.
No, I just think what the alternatives are. And when you look around the world at the moment, I don't think there's any alternatives.
What about maybe like an Irish style president, like an American style one, obviously?
No, I don't think I'd want American style. You don't know what lunatics you're going to get in charge, do you? That's the problem.
Sure.
They very seldom actually do anything for us, and it's just like cover up after cover up after cover up of things, like Prince Andrew, for example.
The younger royals are, like William and Kate and the family, are very much more in touch, aren't they, I think, than they used to be, let's put it that way.
Do you think we could use that $500 million for something else? What do you think we could use it for?
I think without doubt, infrastructure for a start, resources, communities, absolutely.
Parents are struggling to feed their children. There are mums who can't afford to have their kids in childcare and they can't afford to keep their kids at home after school, so they're not sure what to do. And there's £500,000 that we're paying.
Do you think that's kind of a big contrast at the moment when they're getting 500 million a year and obviously the government's come on with a sort of budget cuts and winter fuel allowances going, etc. Do you think there's a bit of contrast there?
Of course, it doesn't add up, does it? So it needs some review, I think.
Really and truly, do we need to like glorify and glamorise a lifestyle that's actually not sustainable for anyone else other than them? And like, what actually do they do for us?
At the moment, when you look on the streets, so many people come day and night homeless, and some people are going to bed empty stomach and everything. So there's things like the hospital, the NHS, we can invest in that, the public transport, the prices are going up. I know at the moment it's a bit, freezing, but it will go up and go. The taxes, the electricity bills, the water bill, any bills, it's going up and up, whereas the monarchy are having a luxury life, which is not, it's not understandable, it's not acceptable.
I just think it's just probably a bit of a waste of money in my opinion, and what we get back I don't think compensates for it. So to use that money to help residents, the underprivileged, would be better use.
There's also lots of institutionalised racism as well within the royal family as well, and I just don't think it's a good look, to be honest.
They're a token figurehead. They've got no real what way the country's going to go. I mean, the Prime Minister goes there no matter who he is, says I'm going to start a government, and that's it.
Surely it'd be better for us to have an elected head of state whereby we might be able to choose someone that isn't just born into the role, someone who, everyone can aspire to be that head of state in this country.
Yes, but then that's what the government's for, isn't it? That's what the election is for the government. So we elect them, and then this is just tradition and history, isn't it? So, which is quite nice to have, I think.
It's an institution, and we shouldn't worry about that unless they were not making money and not having a positive impact. I think there's so much good comes from the monarchy.
I just think it's good to have a figurehead for the country, they represent the country, and it's good to have that sort of figurehead. And I think they sort of bring everyone together, and they do a lot of good work, not just in this country but around other countries as well.
I don't like the royal family. I think why should we have one family not even elected, chosen by God supposedly to represent the British people, which isn't necessarily an accurate representation of how we actually live.
I just think that there's more to life than the royal family.